So last weekend was TFCon, and this weekend, starting today, is San Diego Comic-Con, and we have a lot to talk about here in the Transformer world. We're going to be getting a whole bunch of brand new Transformer reveals, big products for 2024. And this is just the morning reveals. There's going to be obviously more later on in the afternoon. Hasbro has a panel with Mark, Evan, and Delaney, so I'm sure we're going to have more we're going to talk about later today, so stay tuned for that. But let's talk about the Breakfast Hasbro meeting. I was invited to this. I couldn't make it, was too busy with all the other cons. Maybe next year, guys, for sure I will definitely come down. But what we got here is our first look at, well, a repaint that is not too surprising, but what is included with it is indeed the surprise. So we have a repaint of Legacy Evolution Hotshot, the deluxe class, into Legacy Evolution Powerlinx Hotshot, but with a twist. It comes with the Minicon Jolt. So let's jump into it and everything that's going on here. So while it is a straight up repaint of that Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Armada Hotshot, straight up from the body itself, there is a lot of new things included with it. He comes with two brand new guns, which the guns are, dare I say, very similar to his Energon guns that he came with all those years ago. He comes with some blast effects, once again taken from that Siege Jetfire set, which seems to be so popular when they want to get blast effects, I guess because it's multi-layered and there's so much you could do with it. The new deco, again, based on that Powerlinx Hotshot design, or Super Hotorodo, as he was known in Micron Detsetsu, that hot rod-inspired deco with the flames on the hood and everything like that. Really piling in all the extra here. But the big one with it all is the included Minicon of Jolt. Now, confusingly, he is in his original red color scheme that came with the original Hotshot colors back in 2002. Not the yellow colors that were sported on the Powerlinx version in early 2003. So I don't know why they went with that. There's a few different speculations of why that might be. One thing is it potentially might be because a Hasbro rep said that the colors that are represented on the Jolt right now are not 100% how it's going to look in the final product. This is an EP1 that they have on display. It's very orange in person. They said that the final product is going to have more of a red to an orange that's more in tune with the animation model. So what that tells me is I get a feeling they're doing this to make it match the animation model. We'll probably get a yellow one down the line that might be packed in with another gang molded Minicon, maybe a spark plug. Who knows? Who knows? But definitely they're just kind of going with a more animation accurate kind of color scheme. And that's why it doesn't have the vibrant red of the toy. And the orange that's present here today is not 100% of what it should look like. It's kind of something that's in the middle. And if you look how Jolt looked on the cartoon, I kind of see what they're talking about here. So that's more or less that. The copter mode itself is cool. So you have the copter mode, you have the robot mode that it could do. He could do that awesome propeller mode, which attaches to the back of Hotshot. Even the original Hotshot Legacy Evolution mold had that Minicon peg hole, and the assumption was for a lot of us was, oh, I guess they want us to use our old Minicons with this because it clearly was a Minicon peg. But it's not the case. It's actually going to be able to function with this one too. While it doesn't look like he interacts with Hotshot's engine gun like the original toy did, that it could kind of go on top of it, it does look like the Jolt Minicon itself could be used as a gun itself, held by the robot. So we'll see how that kind of works out. But I guess he kind of falls into that price point of a weaponizer / battle master, whatever you want to call it. That's a pack in. So we got this little deluxe with a weaponizer battle master 2-pack with a bunch of extra weapons with some blast effects. It's going to make this nice little package that no doubt is going to be priced similar to what we saw with those Netflix 2-packs a while back. That's what I'm thinking anyhow. Now, what's going to be the repaint next for this? I mean, there's that unreleased smokescreen colors that Hotshot had all those years ago. Maybe that'll be part of the Toxitron collection. Maybe that's Toxitron collection is going to be where all those unreleased ideas will find their place. As we talk for the box here, so what's cool about the box is the box actually on top of it features that classic, iconic vintage logo of Transformers Armada. And yes, I say vintage because Armada is now over 20 years now. Yeah, I know. We're getting old. The big one, though, is the box art itself, because while Hotshot is on the box there with everybody and the cool stuff, there's a mysterious character in the background that clearly is Armada Thrust chilling back there. And from what it looks like it's using that Voyager class Earthrise Seeker Conehead mold. So they're using it yet again for that. I mean, take from that what you will. Maybe that's what the product's going to look like in the end. Maybe not. More times than not, when something's featured in the background of these boxes, it represents a future product that will be coming at some point. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, Thrust, when you look at it from a trademark standpoint, he's hitting that 4-year point now, especially if this is going to be a 2024 product, because Thrust has that 4-year kind of gap. The Masterpiece was 2016. The Earthrise release, the Cyberverse version, even that movie version came out late 2020. That was all 2020 items, so this will be a 2024. It just makes sense in a lot of ways from a trademark standpoint. So that's definitely going to happen. It looks really cool. Very excited about it. Maybe it's because I'm a hot rod guy. Maybe because I love the original mold and even the repaint back in the day. Loved it. So this is pretty hype. And again, the Minicons are here, people, in some shape or form. Maybe we'll get 2 packs in the future. We will see. But definitely keep an eye out for that. We got some other stuff to talk about. Kotobukiya, on their Twitter account, the SDCC Morning, revealed a nice piece of art showing that their Transformers Kotobukiya Bishoujo line is going to continue with more, speaking of expected repaints, we're going to be getting a Thundercracker and Skywarp from the Starscream we just talked about early this week. While the Starscream has that smile with the midriff on his or her, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce this, but whatever, his or her body, the exposed thigh-high boots and everything like that, while the Thundercracker and the Skywarp are going to be more covered up and color-coded to match their design. Thundercracker has the slight smile on the face. Skywarp has the big, like, ara smile for my fellow weebs that know what I'm talking about. So this is pretty cool. I mean, build your Seeker collection of sexy anime girls. And we don't know any word yet if these are going to be mass retail releases or exclusives at a con. So, much like the Black Convoy we got before, but no doubt it'll be the same price like the others, which, if I remember correctly, was 14,780 yen, which the Western websites, I believe, were asking 150. So pretty much 150 if you had to take a guess. And right now, as we speak, the prototype of the Starscream is on display at San Diego Comic-Con right now, so you can check that out in its glorious resin glory. And the last thing we're going to cover, and it's just something I wanted to address, Hasbro's booth, a lot of cool stuff that they have showed off there, not really any new things at the moment. I'm sure when the panel's over, they'll put a whole bunch of new products on display. But one thing that they had is they had a nice big display of different Beast Wars items. And a lot of people were assuming that these Beast Wars items on display were actually future reissues for the Beast Wars Retro reissue line. The story with that actually is a lot of this display is kind of celebrate the history of Beast Wars and some of its products, because it does celebrate, because of Rise of the Beast and everything. And these came personally from the collection of Benson Yee within the Transformer fandom. He loaned out parts of his collection. So yeah, like some of the McDonald's Beast Wars stuff, some of the carded Beast Wars items. So there were people going like, oh my God, we're going to be getting Polar Claw and Rhinox as reissues. Nah, the ones that are on display, unfortunately, are the originals. You could tell by the way the boxes are. Hasbro, with the Beast Wars reissues, have very specific style with how the reissues are compared to their originals, and you could clearly see that the Polar Claw and the Rhinox are the original versions. The fuzzy packaging for the one, the Polar Claw clearly has the old school packaging, as opposed to, like, you could look at the Scorponok, which had the newer packaging and stuff. So as much as I'd love to see more Polar Claw in the future, I mean, it was kind of sucks that he wasn't in Kingdom, despite him being on the poster and everything. I would love to see that trademark come back in some shape or form. There was a Robots in Disguise trademark, just they didn't register it and they didn't use it. It was just in the show. So we'll see. We will see. Definitely after that panel is done, which I'm sure we'll talk about later today, we will see. But that's it more or less, guys. We'll talk more later on the Transformers Slag podcast. A lot to talk about this week. It's San Diego Comic-Con weekend. A lot of stuff is coming. Get hyped. I know I am.